Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Mid-Atlantic Modeling League's Blood Bowl number 5. We are in round number 2. These teams up tonight have already won one game. They've got 5 more to go. We're going to see which one of these two teams advances here tonight. Tonight, it's going to be the Tizz Savage Boys versus Philosophers Song. Tizzle Bizzle versus Spire. We got Orcs versus Lizards. Moob with the 60 stream streak. Thank you very, very much. Great to have you here. I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. 60. We've had 60 streams? Nonsense. Crazy. Thank you. Let's take a look at the brackets before we take a look at these two teams tonight. Warmaster 1969, Festung, welcome to the stream. Welcome everybody to the stream this evening. The stream where I still don't have the new intro done. Here at round 2, the Fishy Fiends will be facing off against Gunner Gets. That's Ajax versus Cobblestorm. And that is Chaos Renegades versus Goblins. The winner of that game will advance to round 3. But this one round here, round 2, is sort of the odd duck out. It's typically a single elimination bracket. But here in round 2, the two teams that lose will get one more game. They'll face off against each other, and the winner of that match will advance to round 3 as well. The Tizz Savage Boys up tonight against Philosopher's Song. Tizz Savage Boys defeating Elden Bruno's the Gutterballs in an Orc mirror match in round 1, with Philosopher's Song defeating Con Kills Entanglements. They were an Imperial Nobility team, and now two pretty bashy teams up against each other here in tonight's first game of round number 2. In round 3, Technobabble Inc. is my human team, and they're going to face off against the Pipstars, Dead Fred's Lizard team. Odin and Snuffle is coached by Clyphis. They're a Norse team, and they're going to face off against Festung's Mammal Nightmare. They're a necromantic horror team. The Blitzburg Steelers have qualified for this Blood Bowl, but will not be able to participate. So the winner of that loser match we just mentioned will get a bye here in round 3 and advance into round 4. And finally, at the top of the bracket here, we have the two teams that have made the finals all season long. The Believe Broncos, coached by BB Nut, is a Nurgle team, and the NC Snakes, coached by Moob, that's a Dark Elf team. All the seeding in the Blood Bowl is random, and Nuffle has decided that the Broncos might face off against the NC Snakes one last time here for the season championship if both those teams can win their semifinal matchups. The home team for this evening will be the Tizz Savage Boys, 14 on the roster. Good evening, Spire. Good evening, SP Beaver. Welcome to the stream. 14 on the roster here. They've got all 4 of their blitzers. They have all 4 of their big end blockers. They have an untrained troll. They have a thrower, and they have a handful of linemen. 1 apothecary, 5 dedicated fans, 2 rerolls. Is going to bring their TV to 1,530,000 gold. They're going to be up against Philosopher's Song tonight, a Lizard team, at a whopping 1,760,000 gold in team value. That's 250,000 gold going back to the Orc team this evening. 13 on the roster. Everybody's starting. They have the big guy in the Crux. They have all 6 of their Sarses. They have a bunch of Skinks, one of which is a Chameleon Skink. 1 Oppo, 6 dedicated fans, 3 rerolls. Aspire says, so losing tonight might be the easier path. It might be. I don't know what your strategy is. How are these two teams going to play tonight? As it often does against the Lizard team, it's going to come down to the Skinks. And I think this Orc team, despite having the lower TV, I think they're going to have an advantage here. So the Orc team, well, not necessarily an advantage against the Lizard teams, but an advantage that other teams may not have against this Lizard team. And that's because they're an Orc team, right? They've got AV10 across the board. They've got a number of players with the block skill. And this means that they're resilient, right? They're hard to take off the pitch. And what that in turn means is that these Orcs, they could tie down these Lizards. They could tie down the Sauruses. They could tie down the Crocs. They only have an edge of 5. If they're marked, they're really not going anywhere. And that means it's skink hunting season for this Orc team. They can try to go after these Skinks, get them off the pitch. The Skinks are an AV of 8+, save for Plato, who's injured and has an AV of just the 7+. These Skinks are going to be armor blah. These Skinks are going to be the real thing to focus on in this matchup. Lots and lots of speed, lots of skills on these skinks. You can see a number of them are blodgers. A couple have sidestep. There's a sneaky get dirty player in Plato who also has on the ball, who's getting that extra 3 movement on the kickoff and perhaps on a pass. We saw Philosopher's Song do a fantastic, in fact, I want to make a short of it and I just haven't had the time, did a fantastic play where Plato moved into position on a pass right next to the passer and just intercepted that ball, just yoinked it out of his hands. So don't sleep on the ball. 3 free movement is great. So this is a very, very fast team. They have dodge on all the skinks as well, so they could get to where they need to be. MA8's fantastic. MA9 is ridiculous. Socrates picking up an extra point of speed. Shutting these players down is going to have to be the name of the game for this orc team. That means when they're on defense, they can't get overly aggressive. They can get aggressive. Again, they can mark out those Sauruses. You mark them out, you keep those Sauruses from protecting the skinks, and now you can go hunting the skinks. But if you don't have a solid secondary in position, MA9 is going to get away from your MA6. It's just math. So you got to keep the secondary in place. You got to kind of pick your battles and start controlling the pitch as you go after these skinks instead of going after them willy-nilly. You look for a skink maybe on the edge of the formation of your opponent. Maybe you take them out. Now you control that section of the pitch. You force them to move in the other direction. You pin them up against the sideline. Now you can start beating up on a bunch of skinks. You got to keep the secondary in check. You got to go hunt the skinks. And there's a dichotomy there, right? There's you want to go in and get aggressive, but you also need to keep players back and play defense. And you need to do that on both offense and defense against this Lizard team, because on defense, this Lizard team, if you're not controlling the pitch, those kicks can come in and really, really harass you and shut down your running game. This Orc team, despite having a thrower, they're really a running team. And so if they lose pitch control on offense and allow these skinks to just harass the cage, the Orcs are going to find themselves stuck. 250,000 gold means they can afford, this isn't the team, they can afford a Ripper Bolgrot, the Orc team can, that is, on the roster. That's strength 6 with Mighty Blow and Grab. That could be great for control. Don't introduce math in the Blood Bowl. That could be great. Could go for a Bomber Dribble Snot and a couple of bribes. I don't think they're going to do that. Bomber would be Bomber 2 bribes. I don't really think jives with the strategy that the Orcs want to go with. They could go. They could go with a. Why did I just lose my inducements? There we go. They could go with a wizard as well. A wizard's not a bad option. You know what? I don't know what Tizzlebizzle is going to go for. We saw Tizzlebizzle not pick up Morgenthorg in round 1 and worked out for the team. So we'll see what they have up their sleeve here in just a minute. We're going to see if the 2 coaches are ready to go this evening. If they are, we'll get this game underway. I see one of the coaches in Discord. Good evening, Electrics Man. Welcome to the stream. I'm reading work messages while I wait. All right, still waiting on one of the coaches here this evening. Hopefully they remembered. There's not a lot of time left in this competition. And if they can't make this competition, I think it's sadly going to have to be a forfeit. We hate doing that, right? You always want to watch you want to see who's the better player. But I should actually make an announcement about that, because we're getting precariously close to the launch of Warhammer Blood Bowl. So hopefully we'll be able to finish the Blood Bowl in time. Messages about Squirkles. This was not about Squirkles. This was about a vulnerability in a dependency. Clear skies for the matchup tonight. Oh, look at this beautiful pitch. The cameraman standing on barrels. Absolutely not safe, or totally safe. Nothing bad could happen there. Oh, by the way, maybe not scheduled a game with me 2 minutes ago, even though we aren't paired up because he forfeits. Orcs in the red. Oh, now they're gone. The lizards effectively in blue, but actually in black. 260,000 gold in petty cash going to the Savage Boys this evening. They are indeed going to pick up a Ripper Bolgrot. Look at those glasses. Look at those glasses. I think I would have gone with Ripper as well. You get that strength 6 with Mighty Blow. You have Grab. You can just kind of set players aside. Grab is like Sidestep, except you, as the blocker, decide where your opponent's going to end up. Savage Boys win the coin toss. They will be on offense to start naturally. You're branching out. Cups formation for this defense. 3 on the line currently. The 2 skinks will be right back here, protected by the Sarcises. 5 on the line currently for the Savage Boys. Tizz with a great showing this season and a great round 1 win against El Nubarino. Not an easy coach to win against. And you can see Philosopher's Song ranked number 4 this season in terms of league points. The Savage Boys ranked 14th, but that's only because they missed out on the Dungeon Bowl. Look at that win record, though. It's 10-4-4 for the Savage Boys. That's going to give a pretty similar win record as the why can't I talk? As Philosopher's Song. I almost called them as the Falafel Song. Ripper on the line. Again, these Sarses and this Crocs, are edge of 5. So if they're marked to get away, the best case of dodging away is a 5+. Now 4 on the line for the Savage Boys with 20 seconds remaining to set up. That will be the formation playing pretty shallow here. Ball kicked deep and an officious ref doesn't like Bernie Buffin over on the right side here of the offensive formation. That ball kicked very deep all the way back into the end zone. Turn 1 now for the Savage Boys. They're going to spend a couple of turns just trying to pick this ball up. 2-die on the line against Hume, the injured Saurus. 9+ breaks armor with Ripper. Ripper can re-roll a die roll once per game, once per half. He's the thinking man's troll. No armor break by Ripper Bolgrot. Now the block by Drick the Troll against Bruce the Crocs. And that'll be a push. Ref is allergic to bees. 2-die block against Kant here will be a knockdown. Breaks armor! Got a stun. Mighty Blow in effect. Mighty Blow gives you a +1 to your armor or your injury roll. So if you need it for the armor roll, in this case, instead of a 10+, you're really looking for a 9+. And if you don't need it for your armor roll, you get a +1 to the injury roll. Mark on the right side here for the blitz against Heidegger gets a push out of this. Savage Boy is sitting on 2 rerolls for the half. Repositions the blitzer back to the Orcs 6-yard line. 5 seconds on the clock. And there are the first steps toward the ball. One of my motion sensors isn't working. I don't know what's going on. But like the lights in my office keep turning off. And then I have to like flail my arms about to get the other motion sensor to pick it up. Today was a hectic day. A good day, but a hectic day. Two-die block against Ripper Bulgrot. This will be a POW. It's going to be a 9+ back here by Hegel on the block. No armor break. Stop giving the middle finger. 2-die blitz against Shunter USA. This will be a knockdown thanks to the block skill. No armor break. Oh, it's hot today. Well, it's not hot today. It's actually the weather is, I guess people will call it nice, but in my office it's hot. Although the AC is on. But I'm like, so like I've got a vent right by my feet, which I think is open. Actually, it looks like it's closed. I should probably open that. But I also have like the computer, and I've got a lot of monitors and a laptop and all sorts of things going on. Turn 2 now for the Savage Boys. "15 teams qualified for this Blood Bowl this season. We're down to 11. 4 have been eliminated. Again, the loser of tonight's match will not be eliminated. They will have at least one more game to play. And if they can win their second game, they will continue their advancement up the ladder. The winner tonight will automatically... Is it really automatic if you won? They will advance to round 3. 100 minutes to play now for the Savage Boys. Troll activates. Has to get through the really stupid roll. That's the negatrait for the Troll. Boneheaded for the Crocs. Really stupid for the Troll. The Troll rolls a 4+ unless they start the activation next to a friendly player that's 2+. The Crocs is always a 2+. If they fail that die roll, they'll lose their tackle zones. They'll lose their activation until they succeed that die roll in the future. Good pickup by the thrower. Gets the ball out to the 22-yard line here on turn 2. Turn 2 now for Philosopher's Song. You can see the protection on the ball carrier. Tizz Bizzle knows better than to leave the ball carrier by themselves. Even if they're all alone, just one skink could apply some heavy pressure. And so they have this protective unit that not only protects the ball carrier here on this turn while the defense goes, but also allows these two blitzers to move with the thrower and set up that cage as they start to move the ball forward. 2-die block over in the right wide zone against Shunter USA is going to be a knockdown. Hank the Ranger, welcome to the stream. That's right, Telestrator of Doom, now officially in effect. It was pretty gruesome last night. Let's hope it's chilled out a little bit today. You know what? No, let's not hope it chilled out. Let's hope it stays as gruesome. 2-die against Ripper Bolgrot. This will be a both down result. Oh, wow! What a great removal here by Philosopher's Song. Ripper still in this game, but on the both down result, got Ripper off the pitch. That is a huge removal, both physically and tactically. Ripper Bolgrot, that straight 6-star player, has been knocked out. Spire says worth it. Yes, indeed. I'd agree. 1-man player advantage now for Philosopher's Song. Ball's going to be advanced up to the, what is that? That's the 12-yard line right there. War Master rooting for the Lizard defense. 2-die block by Drick the Troll over in the left wide zone. And he'll get a knockdown on Wittgenstein. 9+ will break armor. War Master says, see, math just doesn't make sense in Blood Bowl. Keeping that 2 blitzers on the front corners of the thrower. Gnome Slayer, the number 2 thrower. So I discovered today, as we've talked about in a previous stream, I love the series Sakura Wars. And the cartoon, the animation, the anime, is a direct sequel to the latest video game. So I watched episode 1, and it was great, but it's like weird because like it has the same soundtrack as the game. It's like I'm playing the game, but I'm not in control. It's weird, but so far so good. Electric Space's math makes perfect sense. 2+ equals 900% failure rate. That's right. That's right. We all learned that in elementary school. Turn 3 for Philosopher's Song. They're going to stand up the Crocs and put them right back on the line to mark Timidius II, the number 1 big in blocker, with block, guard, and mighty blow. Double pals against Shunter USA, the rookie big in blocker over in the right wide zone. Continuing to hold the line with the Sauruses. Here's a blitz. 2-die blitz against Lorax Dream. Hegel on the block. Looking for a 9+. Hegel the killer with block, mighty blow, guard, and tackle. There's the armor break. Got a stun out of this. Well done. Mouthy Barbecue is going to get punched in the mouth. War Master says, I can imagine if you went to Japan. What do you mean by that? I have gone to Japan. I went to school there, in fact, for a year. $30 left here for Philosopher's Song. Turn 4 now for the Tizz Savage boys. Oh, the good old 16th century. Welcome to the stream, Clive. It's good to see you. Yeah, there were some old Sakura Wars, like there was an old TV show and an old like direct-to-video. They're called OVAs, direct-to-video like show. I haven't watched those, but I will someday. I keep saying for decades. So I was playing this game with a buddy of mine. It's called Threads of Fate. It's I guess you'd call it like an escape room type of game. I mean, it's not an escape room, but it's a box, like a board game. But there isn't a board per se. Basically, you open the box, and you just have to like figure out the mystery. And so we play. This particular game is sort of divided into envelopes. So it's as if certain people have sent you like a box of mail. And it does. It might have squircles actually. Oh, Clive is 57 months too with the sub. Thank you for your generosity. I really do appreciate it. Love sharing this game with everyone. Glad to have you here. Thank you again for the sub. I appreciate it. It's so like you open the letters and there's like parcels and like there's stuff in there. Anyway, like the game isn't completely enclosed in the box. Like for example, whoops, hit the mic. For example, one like segment of the game led us to a website, and it's not a real. I mean, it's a real website, but it's like it's made deliberately for the game, but it's made to look like a legitimate like institute and stuff. Anyway, long story short, we got to this one point in the game where we had to like get the password to like log into a website, and we just couldn't figure it out. It was really hard, and we're just not figuring it out. We don't know what's going on. Well, before we got there, the game took us to a website and expected us to look at the source code in the website, right? So if you right-click in like Chrome or something, you hit inspect element, it wanted us to look at the markup. So it's already put in our head, it's like, oh, maybe things are like hidden in the website or whatever. So me being the dork that I am, I was like, all right, it's looking for a password. So, and I'd already tried this in this similar sort of puzzle during the same like evening session. So you put in your password, it's, sends that to a server, and the server tells you whether you're logged in or not, right? Pretty straightforward. It does this via something called a REST call. It doesn't really matter what that means, but I said, okay, well, let me see what the REST call is. Good blitz here. So pop the ball loose, and now the ball on the Orc 2-yard line. Hegel on the block once more. Let me see what server it's going to and what it's sending to the server. And maybe I can glean information from what the server is returning. Because the server can return a whole bunch of stuff that maybe it doesn't display in the website itself, like to you, the user. And so we're on this puzzle. And I notice, like, I want to get the server URI or URL. And I noticed nothing's being sent to a server. And I'm like, that's weird. But the website told me my password was incorrect. So how does it know it's incorrect if it's not talking to the server? It must know what the password is in the website on your computer. The website gets downloaded to your computer. So I look in the source code, and there's the password. So we just use the password there, and I can't tell. I still don't know if we were supposed to do that, or we were supposed to figure out the password by some other means. Because there's good removal here on the foul. Got rid of the troll. The two big guys. The two trolls, Ripper, Bolgrot, and Drick off the pitch. Two-man player advantage now for Philosophers. 50-50 pickup does not work out. That will be a turnover. The Savage Boys have an opportunity to reclaim this ball here. To clear it, they got to get rid of Nietzsche's Dead, but Nietzsche's Dead is a splodger sidestepper. Right? It was in the JavaScript. Yeah, so I don't know if we were supposed to do it that way or not. So that's been on my mind. That's how much of a dork I am. It doesn't matter. It's a game, but like I wouldn't say it's been bothering me, but I'm like, did we do that right? Signor's Loop says, let's see a troll cuddle while they're napping on the sideline. Look at that. They're just peacefully hanging out. They've got beers and a pig head dancing behind them. Couldn't ask for anything more. And it's weird because there was another website where I tried the same thing. I was just looking to see what the information back from the server was. And still part of the game. And that one sends the password to the server. So, I don't know, man. Now, that one was used with like a website generator. And the one that had the password in it was clearly written by hand. So, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know. I'm like 50-50 on whether we're supposed to do that or not. Well done here on the blitz. The blitzer picks up the ball on the scatter. 50-50 pickup works out and now has plenty of movement left with Chelsea Zola. Big head, multiple towns on the southwest coast of England. No! Trolls like newborn babies. That's right. So the Savage Boys reclaim this ball. They're going to move it one space ahead. Hegel on the right side prone can stand up next turn, but it's going to be a +5 dodge away currently. And now with that corner closed, Hegel has nowhere to go. Some marks could get a stand-up blitz with Hegel to mark the ball carrier, but we'll see. I really like games like that. There's like a, I guess I would say it's defunct. It's not really defunct, but social, I guess what society accepts has changed. But there was a genre of game called the ARG, the alternate reality game, and I used to play those a lot. So those are a very similar premise, although ARGs tended to start in video games. So there was one, the last one I played, and my favorite one, was called the Black Watchmen. So the Black Watchmen were like, they were like a secret government organization, and like you were a member of that group. And so you would log into your quote unquote terminal. It was the video game. And you would start to solve puzzles. But these puzzles would take you to like websites. They would take you to phone numbers that you would call. That's all part of the game. You would get like, sometimes you get a recording. Sometimes you talk to a real person. You could even there would even be like real life events, and you would opt into this based on your agent level or something. So they were colored, so went from like, I don't know, green to yellow to red to black. And so like if you didn't want to engage in like the phone calls and the websites and stuff, you would another knockdown. It's gonna get the ball in the hands of Rambo here on the blitz. So Rambo marked with the Orcs with the solid hands here, keeping control of the ball. If you didn't want to opt into that stuff, you didn't have to. But if you wanted to, you could. All the way up to like the black level, where the game required you to submit a physical exam, like the result of a medical physical, because you would sign up for things like, I'm not kidding, you would like go to a location and you would be quote unquote kidnapped, and they would take you somewhere, and it's all in characters, and there's like actors, and like, so there was one where someone ended up in a house. Now this was like an Airbnb in reality or something, but it was like a quote unquote abandoned house, right? And the way the game was designed, they were expecting that player to stream what they saw in the house, and then the rest of us could like solve the puzzles, which of course the player did. I love that stuff so much. So this Threads of Fate really reminds me of that sort of game. The very first one I played was called The Stone, and I love ARGs so much. I still have them in their packaging. I have them like on display on the shelf because I just think they're so unique. But nowadays, people are so concerned about privacy and safety and giving up information that these games just don't really happen anymore. But the very first one I remember, I was in Montgomery Ward's. It was a department store, and there was these little pyramids on like an end table, and it was called The Stone, and so I bought one. And they don't allow themselves to be kidnapped. That's right. So I bought The Stone. It was a little plastic pyramid, and I opened it up, and inside is a stone. And those stones have like 6 symbols on it. And from this, you discover that you're supposed to go to a website, and you plug those symbols into the website, and now you're solving these puzzles on this cube, and it turns out that your symbols exactly match one other person's symbol somewhere in the world, and you would do these puzzles. Some you could do yourself, some you had to like get help with, and you were digging into this cube until at the very end it was like an actual globe-trotting treasure hunt. Great removal here for the Orcs. They got an actual casualty out of this one, so while the Orcs have suffered 2 KOs, they have hunted Plato the Younger, the rookie skink, and taken him off the pitch. Very well done by Tizzle Bizzle. But yeah, that was a years-long game, and it culminated into a real-life globe-trotting treasure hunt. This was before social media, so it was a lot of fun to like kind of figure this out like in the website, on message boards and stuff. I love those games. There was one called Missing Since January. That was fun. There was what was the EA one? I can't remember. Majestic. Majestic was cool. Probably the most famous one was not a boxed product, but it was called I Love Bees. And it was basically a marketing stunt for Halo 2. But it was really cool. It started off as an actor, who was like, oh, I'm a beekeeper and my website's like messed up. Can anyone help me? They just messaged on a particular message board. And this led to this like, all sorts of puzzles, and long story short, it was a UNSC like AI, like a Cortana type thing. It was a lot of fun. All right, enough babbling about ARGs, but I miss them. I very much miss them. Clivey says, before social media, so I guess SU being around since the 16th century wasn't that far off, was it? Warmaster demanding death. It was far off, Clypeus. But maybe not that far. 2-9 blitz against the ball carriers. A both standing result. Reroll gets spent in to the POW. Will the ball stay on the pitch? No armor break. The ball's going to end up on the pitch right behind Hegel. Big fight for the ball here with the Orcs running out of time. A good bounce here for the Lizard team. Orcs have to end next turn in scoring position. Doesn't look like they're going to do it. They're probably going to change their strategy here to try to stop the score. Great positioning here by the defense all the way through this half. .50-50 pickup. Does not work out. And now it's between two skinks, a Croxosaurus, and Space Magic, the number 5 blitzer. Turn 7 for the Savage Boys. The thrower nowhere to be seen. Well, the thrower's over here, but not near the ball. Gets the knockdown on the Crocs, trying to pop this ball out. Gonna hope for this forward movement on the ball. No! Aristotle will catch the ball on the 5+. That's because he's a philosopher. He studies the truth, and he knows exactly how that ball was going to land. 2-die blitz against Hegel will be a POW, looking for a 10+ by the thrower. Excuse me, 2-die block. Warmaster says, my kids make fun of me when they hear 1969's on my birth date. I'm an artifact to them. Yeah, it's been good skink hunting here. Good skink hunting to remove Aristotle and pop this ball out. Ball's gonna move one space forward. Can they do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, they can't. They're not gonna be able to score, but they can stop the Lizard team from scoring. See a philosopher, is he just a song? Yeah, Warmaster, it's been really weird. Like I don't have kids, but I have plenty of friends that have kids, and watching them grow up is weird. It's just weird, right? Because like you, or at least me, I don't envision myself getting older, but clearly I am. But for kids, they are clearly getting older, right? Like they were 6 millimeters high, and now they're taller than you. It's so strange. And they're like real people with actual opinions and skills, and oh, it's just so weird. Good recovery here by Lorax Dream. Clivey says my high schoolers would agree that they got older. Keeping the ball safe. Turn 7 now for Philosopher's Song. Clivey says, as a classist, I can authoritatively state that removing Aristotle is always the correct move. Stand up blitz against the thrower. Trying to get this thrower off the pitch. No rerolls remaining. Just going to get a push out of this. They asked if I helped load up Noah's Ark. Clevy says, I vividly remember Oh, good surf here. Well done. Well done. KO to boot. We'll see if that KO sticks. Very well done by Philosopher's Song. Like he says, I vividly remember events that happened to me when I was younger. Uh, to me, when I was younger than they are now, and that's terrifying. Yeah. Sickness Loop says, I'm still stuck on the whole 6mm children bit. Is that not how small they are? Yeah, you never, at least I never feel quite my age. I told them that's why Pokemon are extinct, because I didn't let them on the Ark. All right. Descartes is going to run away to safety. 13 seconds left on the clock here. Nietzsche's dead, runs away to safety as well. He's also in scoring position. Turn 8 for the Savage Boys. I remember still hunting the last dragon back in my youth. Philosopher's Song averaging 70 yards per game. There's 26 yards from the line of scrimmage to the end zone. But only 1.44 touchdowns per game. And that suggests they have a really solid defense, right? The defense is able to reclaim that ball, and maybe they don't score with the defense. Maybe they do, but they gain a lot of ground. It's also strange. I find it weird. I mean, I'm sure every generation goes through this, but I find it weird to watch younger generations relearn the same things we had to learn. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's a solved problem. Because I learned that lesson when I was 14. But they're 14 now. They got to learn the lesson too. War Master says, I love the toys we had back then. Me too. Me too. In so much that I have an entire room full of them. I have a whole showroom full of toys. Dude, I have Blitz against you. Gets a push out of this. Clifey says, good news! Younger generations aren't learning things anymore. Oh, great. Although I will say, for like my generation or even older generations, two die uphill against the Crocs. Stays alive on the push. What was I saying? Oh yeah, older. Generations older in age. Thank you. But when people pine for the past, I'm like, it kind of sucked. Like, it is definitely better in many respects today. You know what I mean? Like, what did you do without computers? It sucked. That's what. I mean, I guess I'm not old enough to not be around for computers, but I'm old enough where personal computing was still fairly new when I was born, you know? Oh, remember when you had to talk on the phone with people? Yes, I do, and it sucked. It was awful. You read a map, you remembered phone numbers. Right, it was terrible. 0-0 the score. As we go to the second half, Philosopher's Song stopping the score. Oh, no. Ripper Bulgrut does come back onto the pitch, but the other two KOs do not here for this Orc team. They'll still have a full 11, thankfully. I think it's going to be 11v11. And now the Savage Boys need to stop the score. They're going to be a little bit on the back foot here. As we talked about these skinks very, very fast. Tizzle Bizzle did a fantastic job of removing 2 of them. But there's still a gaggle of them. There's 4 more remaining on the pitch that they're going to have to contend with. They do want to still hunt the skinks. They don't want to get overly committed. They need to keep the secondary in check while preventing the Sarses and that Crocs from being able to support the skinks. And that means having to lock them down. Clivey says, my dad's first PC caused spoiling a car. Warmaster said, we had bikes, we had fireworks. We did have bikes and fireworks. Although I will say, you know how people say, like, oh, it's like riding a bike, you never forget? I don't know how true that is. Like, I used to ride my bike all the time. I haven't ridden a bike in a while. I used to snowboard. And I had a buddy that snowboards. And he's like, hey, you want to go snowboarding? I'm like, sure. I could not do it. It was as if I had never snowboarded in my life. So now I'm terrified that I don't know how to ride a bike. Maybe. Do I still remember how to swim? Well, I know I can still swim. I've been in a swimming pool recent enough to validate my swimming. Like Segner's Loop says, there's some arguments to be made to the contrary. Fair enough. SP Beaver says, remember paper maps? Oh, yes. I remember taking a class on how to read maps. You still have paper maps in your car? Why? Sector's Loop says, yeah, reading a map while driving is infinitely safer than using your phone while driving. Especially the fold-up type of map. Infinitely safer. Very deep kick here by the Tizz Savage Boys. And they're going to get a full 6-man blitz. We'll see if the ball stays on the pitch. But first, they've got 6 activations. It's like a normal turn, except it's not a turn, so they don't get to use a team reroll. What if we're traveling and lose all satellites? Okay, I guess. Nerd King Danny, welcome to the stream. Nerd King Danny says, we likely all should have a paper map in our car, but I don't. I guess. I just, like, it just... Well, I mean, like, you don't need cell service to pick up a GPS core or to pick up GPS satellites. You need the cell service to, like, download the actual map images, but as far as I'm aware, I don't have an Apple phone, I have an Android phone, but at least on my phone, those images are cached. Like, you download them, they're on your phone. If you get lost, just drive north until you find Santa and ask for the elves for a map and you'll be fine. Plus, I don't know if you've noticed, I've definitely noticed, like, signage on the roadways has gotten much better than it used to be. Much better. Sector Sleep says, I want to see the first annual AVA bicycle, snowboard, swimming triathlon. Knocked out on Schlegel here on the blitz. Didn't get an armor break out of this. 7 seconds remaining on the clock. Warmaster says, when I look at old 80s horror movies, I say, if only the victims had cell phones. That's right. None of those movies would happen. The ball's going to remain on the pitch. It's in the end zone. Another deep kick here, this time by the Orc team. Not as problematic for this Lizard team due to these really, really fast skinks. Socrates will not only be able to pick this up on this turn, but be able to get pretty much back to where he's standing. Isn't that weird? Like, Segner's Loop says, or stop to ask directions because they didn't have a paper map. Like, today, I think people genuinely get disconcerted when you ask them anything at all, right? Because you have everything at your fingertips. So if you're asking them a question, you almost seem weird. You know what I mean? Whereas back in the day, it was not weird to, you know, talk to someone. Two-die block against Earthquake here is a pal. Hume on the block. That's not me trying to say, like, oh, back in my day, we did it better. I'm not doing that, but it is weird how, like, things change, and they change slow enough that you don't really realize it until much, much later. You're just asking them to look up something you don't want to look up. Fair enough. Two-die block is double skulls here for the Lizards. They'll spend one of their 3 rerolls down to 2 for the game to get a knockdown on Yellow Eyes. I will say, I don't want to tell people how to live their lives, but man, do I get annoyed when people pay cash for things. Oh, it drives me up the wall. Because payments are so much more efficient now, right? And safer. Like, the fact that I can have my wallet, if somebody wants to steal my wallet, it's not an issue. It's, have it. Have it. I'm not responsible for the fraud on the cards. You know, I'm not responsible for you stealing that. The cards will get shut down instantly. You can't get any actual money from me. Like, when I pay, if I pay with my phone, that's not even my credit card number that's being used. It's a virtual card number. It's so like quick and easy and safe. You heard it here. Abe has no issue with me taking his wallet. The biggest thing that would be annoying about it, well, actually, that's not even true anymore. I thought it would be annoying to like get my driver's license back if I lost it, because it used to be a pain in the ass to like go to the MV. We call it the MVA. Some people call it the DMV, the Motor Vehicle Association, or the Department of Motor Vehicles, to get your license back. But I renewed my license a few weeks ago, and it took maybe 5 minutes. I was floored by how efficient it was. Warmaster says, I hate it when they write checks at the grocery line. I haven't seen somebody write a check in a long, long time. Move says driver's license getting stolen would be annoying, though. Yeah, I thought so, too, but I guess maybe not. Nerd King Danny says, back in my day, I had to walk 10 miles to school uphill both ways in 3 foot of snow with 100-degree weather. Move says, I renewed mine online recently, but is replacing the stolen one the same? I don't know. I don't know. I imagine it would be verifying your identity, right, with a social security card or bills or something, and then they just issue you a new one. Or maybe it's even, I mean, maybe they don't even need to do that. Maybe they just mail it to you. Whoa! That's a dead Saurus! Can't get up from that! What a shot to the face! The rookie Saurus killed in round 2 of the championship competition. Two-die block over on the right side of the line. Got a pow out of this. But yeah, maybe if they just mail it to your address, do they even need to verify who you are at that point? Because they're just mailing it to the address they have on file. SP Beaver says, I stand by what I have always thought. If I run into my house being robbed, I would offer to help them take the stuff. It's only stuff. I don't know if I want them taking my stuff. I wouldn't help them take my stuff. But I take your point. But, like, You know what I mean? Like, your wallet used to have, like, transferable currency in it. And that made it very, very important to keep safe. And now it just doesn't matter. It like, if someone took my wallet, it would be an inconvenience. But that's it. Which is great. I think that's great. A lesson to rookies, protect your chin. That's right. Wear a helmet. Wear a helmet. The orcs are. Stand up blitz against Shunter USA. Gets the knockdown thanks to block. Looking for that 9+. This is why I have a spare chin. Well done. Well done. That's right. He protected his chin. That's right. I mean, look at that, like, jaw piece. Like, what? Nothing bad's gonna happen to you. That's how you know I know armor. The jaw piece, the arm, metal, you know, the back protector. Yield chin god piece, right? SB says, so in Warhammer Blood Bowl, can we finally ban skinks and gutter runners? No, we cannot. 2-die on Ripper Bolgrot here. This will be a push. Philosopher's Song has the ball up on their own 4-yard line. Spread pretty wide here to control as much of the pitch as possible. You can see the Orcs. Orcs trying to sweep around here on the left side. But the Saurus is holding down the fort. Yeah, everybody loves gutter runners. They're so friendly and definitely not annoying. Really, they're just probably the most balanced piece in the game. I love the wind up. I love the wind up middle finger. Oh, one of my favorite animations. Whoever put that in, kudos. Kudos at Cyanide. Whoever decided that was an animation that should be in the game. Orcs applying pressure to the back of the cage here. Number 7. Mouthy Barbecue marking the back left corner of the cage. Clivius says Skaven were so punchable by my Chaos Dwarves in Season 2. War Master says, I was hoping is that Biatches? We're going to make it this season. I wanted to see your mom. I wanted to see your mom again. Blitz on the right side with 7 seconds to go. This will be a push against Nietzsche's Dead. Or it could be a both standing result. Going to take the both standing result. Keep control of that right wide zone. And now Savage Boys back on the bonus clock with just 3 minutes 50 seconds to go. They've got 2 rerolls remaining, as do Philosopher's Song. And Philosopher's Song is currently on their own 4-yard line. 0-0 ball game so far. 6 turns remaining in regulation. Your mom will go down in history. Two-dive blitz against Darkheart. This will be a knockdown. 9+ breaks armor. There's the armor break. There's the Kaz. Well done. Well done. 10v10 on the pitch once more. First Kaz of the day for Philosopher's Song. Very well done. Another armor break, this time into a stun. Savage Boyz, they have just a single player in the secondary, and that is Earthquake. So they're really hoping to hold this line here. If a crack opens up in this defense, the Skinks are going to take off, and then it's going to be really hard to come back at that point. 2-die against Mouthy Barbecue will be a knockdown. Another armor break and another KO. One-man player advantage now for Philosopher's Song. 3+ dodge works out for the Skink, and now 2-die against Ripper will be a knockdown. Crocs with that mighty blow. Ripper stays on the pitch. Two-die block in the left wide zone. Takes a push out of this. Pushes number 11 back a space. Turn 11 now for the Savage Boyz. Cleffius asks, is the ball safe? We shall see. Two-die against Wittgenstein will be a pal. This is over on the left side of the line. SB Beaver says it's safe as Nuffle. It's as safe as Nuffle deems it. Are you questioning Nuffle? Space Magic on the blitz. Gets a push out of this against Descartes. Descartes not a sidestepper, so this will be a chain push. Clypheus is Nuffle. Blitzer follows up after the chain push. Pulls the second player into the secondary now. This will be Lorax Dream. Now covering the left side of the pitch. Turn 12 for Philosopher's Song. Lifey says, I do not question myself. I question myself constantly. But it normally takes, it doesn't take like, it normally doesn't take the form of humility. It's usually like, I question myself in the manner of, I did this thing. This thing definitely works. Wait, this thing doesn't work. No, it has to work. Why doesn't it work? I didn't do it. I must have done it. How do I fix it? But you're only human, yeah. It's just sort of like a, you know what I mean? I spit what I'm thinking. It's like a stream of consciousness almost. So it's like you know, I'm a software engineer, as we're well aware at this point. Like if I write code, obviously if you write a thing, if you write an algorithm, if you solve a problem, you think you've done it correctly, clearly, unless you're psychopathic. So you start off with, you're like, I am correct, and then you see evidence that you're not correct, and then you're like, you deny it a little bit, right? You're like, oh, maybe it must be this other thing. Because in your head, you're correct, right? But it turns out you've made some assumptions that you're not conscious of yet. And then you have to like just sort of talk it out, right? To identify them. You're like, oh, I can't, this must be something else. Oh, it's not something else. Oh, it's me. Oh, because I did this. Well, this is right. Oh, this isn't right. You know what I mean? SP Beaver says, I like to solve problems with my dogs when I'm alone. They have yet to answer for me why JS is the way it is. A little over 5 minutes left on the bonus clock for Philosopher's Song. I mean, I can't count how many times I've said, this doesn't make any sense. It must make sense. It's a computer. If it's wrong for a reason. If it's doing the wrong thing, the computer just didn't decide to do it. It was instructed to do it. Foul doesn't work out here with the sneaky get dirty player, Plato. And now turn 12 for the Savage Boys. Final turn of the third quarter. SP Beaver says, yeah, but don't you love problems that only sometimes fail? No, I do not. I very much do not. Electric Fan says it's either 1 or 0. That's true. 1 or 0, yes or no, true or false, up or down. Whatever you want to call it. Two-die blitz against Descartes. Gets a push here. SPV says, I'm working on a new language based on trillion logic. True, false, or maybe. You joke. But that does exist. That absolutely exists. Why would that exist? Turn 13 for Philosopher's Song. We've yet to cross the line of scrimmage. The Orcs have a couple of players in the secondary keeping this pressure up. Boy, man. Tense game right now. A scrum is formed. If a skink breaks out of this, it could spell disaster. But, of course, the Savage Boys do have those two safeties in position. They're still keeping that pressure up. Finally crossing the line of scrimmage, moving Socrates over into the left wide zone. Socrates with an MA of 9 is already in scoring position. 3, 6, 9, rush. I drew on the screen again. So now heavy protection here on the ball carrier. Again, this is the MA9 skink Socrates. He is a sidestepping blodger. The fact that it ends in a rush means it's not in range. Fair point. My goodness gracious! Oh, my apologies. My apologies to both of these teams, for I have drawn on the screen and I have committed atrocities. 2 murders. A dead lizard, a dead orc. 2 kills so far in tonight's game. Turn 13 for the Savage Boys. We're in the 4th quarter now. Savage Boys trying to stop the score. I think what they're trying to do is stop the score and win the coin toss for overtime, but they do have players in position where they could score here at the end of the quarter if they could pop this ball loose, but they've got to keep it safe. 2-die blitz by Space Magic. This is a POW on Nietzsche's Dead. The sidestepping blodger needed a POW to knock down. SB Beaver. No armor break, though. SB Beaver says, fun fact, that orc has a better chance of surviving death than it does of making a rush. Move says, uphill on the Crocs for a dice on the ball here I think is needed. Not sure how the orcs can get in front meaningfully. Yeah, this is a tough situation to be in. They've now marked the ball carrier, but this is not with a tackle piece. So, Socrates, edge 3, dodge away with a free reroll, but they can set up a block to push away. SB Beaver says there's no marking a skink. Yeah. A rush to mark the Crocs. Currently a 1-die against Bruce the Crocs right now. Shunter USA back in the safety position, but again, the ball carrier already in scoring position. Is the 1-die going to be taken? There it is. Got the POW on Bruce. Needs a 9+. This armor break could be huge. Does not follow up. Turn 14 for Philosopher's Song. Will they score? The Croc stands back up, but is 1 space back now. Two-die block back behind the line of scrimmage. Got a POW. That's right. Run like Pip's Pippy. Got an armor break here. It's a pretty good armor break. It's near the action, and these orcs are, I wouldn't say all over the place, but they're definitely off to one side. That could have given them some more leverage, some more positioning here, but that's okay. 3-die block now against Space Magic. Will be a knockdown. Ball carrier cleared. .36 seconds to go now for Philosopher's Song. Still hanging on to 2 rerolls. I don't think they... Well, they might score. Definitely want to stall this out if they can. War Master asks, can he throw? He can throw. He's not good at it. He'd also be that'd be a crazy throw. Socrates moving a couple spaces out to the left. It's going to hang out on the opposing 8-yard line. 4 minutes left on the bonus clock for Philosopher's Song. Good 3+ dodge to get the assist against Ripper Bulgrot. 2 die block against Ripper with Mighty Blow. 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 6. Gets the knock. Wow. Gets the knock. Wow. Ripper Bulgrot knocked out for the second time this game. Turn 14 for the Savage Boys. Now they got to make something happen. They've got to pray to Nuffle. Philosopher's Song with strong control of the ball. Well in scoring range right now. With an MA9 Skink Edge 3+ with the dodge skill, of course. And even if this Skink would take a block, if it's not with a tackle piece, you need a PAL. And if you don't get that PAL, he's a sidestepper. He'll just go where he pleases. So what they need is for you to Telestrator of Doom all over those Skinks. I can't pick favorites. We got one death on each side. I can't ask for much more. No. One die block against Heidegger. This will be a knockdown. You can ask for 19 more. So will this be a dodge blitz on the ball carrier? Well, now it'd be a double dodge blitz. Dodge fails here, spends the reroll, and that will be a failed dodge. Turn 15 for Philosopher's Song. If they were to score this turn, I don't think that would be the end of the world. But if they can stall this, which they absolutely can, then they'll be in pretty good shape here to score on turn 16. Do not interfere with the mortals. Oh, double skulls here. Spends a reroll. Gets the knockdown. Philosopher's Song down to 1 reroll for the game. In good positioning here. A POW against Lorax Stream. Failed opportunity for a quad skull. Trying to mark out the downfield work. So as a mark against Chelsea Zola, a mark against Shunter USA, we'll park this ball outside this end zone. Can set up a half cage if he wants. Can set up something more than that if he wants. But I think he'll probably set up a half cage. Move Wittgenstein down downfield to eat up some space. 2-die blitz against Space Magic's going to be a push. Space Magic's probably not going to stand firm here. Space Magic is indeed going to stand firm. Fair enough. Iron Cynic says, safe moves first! Ah! Ball carrier has yet to move. The safest move is to get yourself KO'd. And now the ball carrier is going to move down to the 22-yard line. Oh, just off the sideline, too. I thought as a sidestepper, he'd hang out on the sideline. Nobody can get to this ball carrier that I can see. I guess Earthquake can? It's going to be a big turn for Earthquake. Let's go. Let's go, Earthquake. 3+ dodge to a 3+ dodge to a 4+. So 3+ to a 4+ to a 5+. SB Beaver rooting for this Orc defense. Nobody ever died in the KO box. 3+, 4+, 5+. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can make it a 3+, 4+, 4+ to a 2-die block without the block skill. It's a rookie. Sophiana, welcome to the stream. Be like Pips. Be like Pips. Oh no, was that Earthquake? I think that's the only guy that can get at the ball carrier. I think I was the only guy who could blitz the ball carrier. Oh, there is a better option. Let's see it. Let's see it. No, he's only MA5, so he only had 2 movement and 2 rushes. 2-die blitz. Gets a push out of this against Descartes. Descartes, not a sidestepper, so doesn't have to follow up here. Not gonna mark the ball carrier! Oh, man. Not gonna mark the ball carrier. Turn 16 for Philosopher's Song. Tizz Savage Boys will get 1 turn to score. Unless there's a timeout, they'll get 2. Philosopher's Song takes the lead late in this ball game. Turn 16, 1-0. Very well done. Oh, was he out of movement? Oh, was he prone? He was prone. Cups formation for this defense. They're going to be a man down. 10v11, I believe. Yep, 10v11. So 1-man player advantage for this Orc team. Orc team needs a timeout to get on the board here. Needs a timeout and then needs to book. 3 on the line. Either wide zone being given up by the defense. Fallen Tide, welcome to the stream. Fallen Tide asks, can Orcs 1-turn TD? No, right? I don't see a 1-turn option here, no. Their fastest piece is MA6. They don't have any gobos to throw. So MA6 would need 5 pushes in order to be in scoring position. Tizzle Bizzle praying enough. Remember, even if this team loses, they are not out of this competition. They'll have another game to play. 5 on the line for the Savage Boys. Here we go. It's a blitz. That's not gonna do it. Another deep kick here. But this game is going to end 1-0. Well done. Philosopher's Song wins another one. And they're going to advance into round 3. The Tizz Savage Boys put on a very good show here, but they have not been eliminated yet. They've got one more game to play. If they can win that one, they will advance to round 3 as well. In fact, if the Tizz Savage Boys can win their next game, they'll advance and get a bye. Final turn of the game. Tizz Savage Boys do have to be mindful of their team because they have not been eliminated, so they don't want to take any undue risks. But otherwise, they'll be looking for some SPP here. Is that ball in the end zone again? 3 kicks. Wow, these kicks have been crazy this game. War Master says, I got greedy with the predictions. So it goes. That'll be it. 1-0 the final. Philosopher's Song wins and advances to round 3. Congratulations to Spire on the victory. Very well done. GG's all around. And with that, Philosopher's Song will be advancing to the next bracket. Again, the Savage Boys have not been eliminated. They're going to face off against the loser of the Fishy Fiends versus the Goner Gits. And the winner of that game will advance. So Philosopher's Song will advance into round 3 here. They'll be right at the bottom there where it says 5P lower winner. And they'll face off against the 5P upper winner. So the winner of the next round 2 game, that's going to be their match. Very, very well done. We'll take a look at the schedule. I don't think the other game's been scheduled yet, but we'll take a look at the schedule before we leave. Yeah, coming up next, we have the Fishy Fiends versus Goner Gets. It has yet to be scheduled. That will be Ajax versus Cobblestorm. That's Chaos Renegades versus Cobblestorm's Goblins. That'll be our other round 2 matchup. Has yet to be scheduled, but when that game gets scheduled, you'll be able to check out and get alerted to that schedule on our website at maml.club. That's maml.club. Here on Twitch or on our social media pages on Blue Sky, X, and Facebook. You can also watch previous games on our YouTube channel, and you can come hang out in our Discord if you like. In there, you're welcome to talk shop. We've also got dedicated channels for standings and the schedule, and the schedule channel has the schedule in your local time zone, so you don't have to do any funny math to figure out when the next game will be. But the one thing I am going to ask you to do, I demand that you do, is play Blood Bowl. This game is super fun. You can play Blood Bowl via Blood Bowl 3 on Steam, the Epic Game Store, PlayStation and Xbox, and in tabletop form at your friendly local game store. Until our next round 2 matchup, take care, everybody. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Congratulations once again to Spire. And why don't you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday? Take care, everybody. Thank you very much, guys.